Welcome to the Credit Concept Podcast. I am your host, Credit Coach Nicole Scott, and in today's podcast, I am going to be covering the fastest way you can ruin your credit score. So if you are interested in learning more about credit, if you need credit coaching, credit repair, anything to do with personal or business credit, you are in the right place. Make sure that you have followed me on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook at Credit Coach Nicole Scott. I've had issues with Facebook and getting hacked, so I just started a brand new Facebook. Again, I don't have many followers on there, but Instagram and YouTube are going to be where I am at most. But with that being said, I do have a Facebook group that I started called the Credit Concept. Make sure to join that group where I'm going to be dropping all of the videos in that group, so that way you can follow along. And I also share information with you guys because sharing is caring. When I was learning about credit, there was no one out there that was willing to teach me these things for free. And I get it. A lot of times when we're first starting out this journey, we have to pay for information. But at the same time, when I first started this journey, I wasn't in the best financial situation. I just had a lot going on. So it's always a blessing to be a blessing. And that's exactly what I do this for, because I want to be a blessing to you guys, to your family. And not only do I want to help you, but I want to help you understand the concept of credit. And I want you to pass that along to your family, your friends, your community. So that way people can have the best opportunity to prosper. Credit is the foundation. If you want to buy a house, if you want to buy a car, it's all going to be dependent upon your credit score. And obviously, the higher your credit score is, the lower your interest rates are. And you can get approved for things with a lower credit score, but you're going to be paying so much more money for it. And why pay more money for something when you can, tweak a few things, understand what you got to do, what you need to do in order to get your credit score in a better position, so that way you can take advantage of better interest rates, better credit cards, better credit products, period. And just being able to go to the bank when you need to and say, hey, I need a loan, or starting to build business credit, starting a business using credit. There's so many different ways that you can make an income when it comes to credit. And credit, it has been in the United States for over 100 years. And the credit bureaus have really operated for more than 100 years. Sure, they have changed names, they have changed ownerships, but the concept of credit has always been the same. The concept is, can we trust you? This is a test. We're going to give you a little bit and we're going to see if you can pay it back and you can manage it, right? Credit cards, $500, $1,000, those are a test. Okay, don't mess it up. That's one of the fastest ways that you can ruin your credit. So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the fastest way that you can just simply tank your credit score. And let's go over some of those things. So recently I had a client that I was working with. Everything was looking good. They were doing great. They had got approved for a $25,000 credit card. And next thing you know, they got a late payment. And this late payment dropped their credit score over 70 points with each of the credit bureaus. So it is extremely important for you guys to make sure that you are paying the accounts that report to your credit bureaus on time. Accounts that don't report can be put on the back burner. Of course, they're important, but you might have some additional time. Those people can work with you. Utility bills, rent, places like that. Even if you have a late fee, typically a lot of these renters or rental facilities or landlords, they don't report directly to the credit bureau. So even you'll have, some wiggle room with that. But what you don't have wiggle room with that will affect you for the next 7 years is late payments, paying your bills that report to the credit bureaus late. And those bills consist of your car payment, your credit cards. Okay. Now, even if you are not able to pay your car payment, you need to call your lender and ask them if they can defer the current payment to the end of your loan term. And a lot of people don't talk about that, and a lot of people are not even aware that that is an option. But if you've had your auto loan and you've paid every month on time since you've had it, and you've been in good standing with them and you have a good relationship with them, a lot of times they can defer your car payments to the end of your loan term. So you can say, hey, I am going through a financial hardship, I was sick, whatever the case is. You just need to tell them that you went through a financial hardship, but you would like to see if you qualify to defer some of the loan payments. So you can sometimes do anywhere from like 1 to 3 months. Defer these next 2 months of loan payments to the end of my loan term. That way you don't get late payments and you stay in good standing. A lot of people are afraid. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to call the creditors. They know they messed up. They're ashamed. They're embarrassed. It's a horrible thing to talk about, but we have to deal with it. We have to take it by the horns and shake it, okay? And the best way that you can do that is to call the creditor if you are going through a financial hardship and let them know, hey, I am dealing with a financial hardship. It is very personal. I'm back on track now. However, I had some major expenses, so I just want to see what you can do to help me through this financial hardship. And when it comes to any loans, whether that's a car payment, personal loans, see if they are able to defer some of your payments to the end of your loan term. For credit card companies, you just need to focus on paying the minimum amount due. The client that I was working with literally had a minimum payment. I think it was like $90 or something, and it didn't get paid on time. And they got a 30-day late payment on their credit report, which just really tanked their credit score. And that is the fastest way that you can see your credit score drop, is by getting a late payment. So all of the hard work that you've worked so hard to accomplish is going to be flushed down the drain because you're not able to manage your finances. And late payments in your payment history is the number one factor when it comes to calculating your credit score. So it is imperative that you pay all of the bills that report to the credit bureaus on time. And if you're not sure what some of those bills are, get you a spreadsheet, get you a notepad, write down all of your monthly expenses and get organized. Find out what bills report to the credit bureaus, what bills don't report to the credit bureaus, know when the bill due date is, know when your credit card statement date is, so you can make sure that you're paying it prior to the statement date, because the statement date, if you have a high credit utilization, that's what's going to report, and that's how you can control your credit utilization. And what reports to the credit bureaus is by knowing, hey, my statement date's on the 15th of every month, so I know as long as I pay down my credit card by, say the 14th or the 13th, by my statement date, the 15th, it's going to be much better. So when it reports to the credit bureaus, I'm not going to lose as many points on my credit score, because credit card utilization is the second biggest contributing factor when it comes to calculating your credit score. And your credit utilization is simply your credit cards, okay, what those credit card limits are and what your balance is in comparison to what your credit limit is, okay? So if you have a credit limit of $1,000, and I always use this example because it's simple math. If you have $1,000 credit card and you have a $900 balance due on there, right now you're utilizing 90% of that $1,000 credit limit. Okay, that's way, way too high. And in the grand scheme of things, $900 is not a whole lot of money, but that would literally tank your credit score. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are paying your balances on your credit cards, even if you had to use them for an emergency or something. You are paying those balances down, or you are balance transferring to another card prior to the statement date. Okay. And even if you get a personal loan, those are not going to affect your utilization. Your credit card utilization is the biggest test here, because when they give you a credit card, they know it's burning a hole in your pocket. They know you want to run to the mall. They know you want to get on Amazon. They know you want to spend, but you ain't got the money to pay it back. You can only spend what you have in cash when it comes to credit when you're first starting out, and you really need to keep that concept the entire time. And when you get higher credit limits, you can spend a little bit more without being penalized as much, but it's all about what is your credit limit compared to what your balance is, right? If you have a $500 credit card and you're using $250, you're utilizing 50% of that credit limit, and that's way too high. You want to stay below 10%, no more than 15%, okay? So that's really going to be one of the fastest ways that you can tank your credit score, is by paying your bills that report to the credit bureaus late, and by utilizing or using too much of your credit cards. So those are two of the fastest ways that you can literally tank your credit score. So you want to make sure that you understand the concept behind credit, so that way you are having the best credit score for life. If you have not followed me now, you want to make sure that you follow me on YouTube at Credit Coach Nicole Scott, on Instagram at Credit Coach Nicole Scott. I am your host, Credit Coach Nicole Scott of the Credit Concept Podcast, and you can listen to this podcast wherever podcasts are best fit for you. So again, guys, I wish you the best in your credit journey. Make sure that you have listened to all of the other Credit Concept Podcast episodes, because you're going to get value from each and every one of those episodes. And if there is a topic that you have a question about, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know, hey, can you do an episode about this? Because this is, I'm still confused about this. Let me know what you can find value on, and I'll be more than happy to put that on our, suggestions list and make it happen for you guys. So I wish you the best in your credit journey. If you need help, please visit the information in the description, where I will have all of the links on how to get your credit reports and how to connect with me. Until next time, guys, make sure that you watch the entire Credit Concept playlist. I am your host, Credit Coach Nicole Scott. Take care.